Munchkins and viewers alike, it's me, Munchie. Welcome back to another rescue intake here at Munchie's Place for Homeless Pets. We're a 501c3 SAS rescue here in the state of Washington, and we rescue hamsters, gerbils, and mice with our volunteers. Today is a very sad intake, and I do want to talk a lot about responsibility. I might seem harsh in this, but this is the reality that a lot of people just don't seem to understand or to step up to the plate. When you get an animal, that is a privilege, all right? You don't need an animal, but it is a privilege. So make sure when you take in a living thing, you are taking care of it. You're doing your research. You're doing your due diligence to make sure the animal has a happy, safe life. This person, I was told by the volunteer who went out and got this animal for us, that they did no research. This is a family friend who contacted me saying that they knew someone at their place of work who wanted to surrender a hamster. And the situation is that the father of his daughter, the preteen daughter, she ran off to Arizona to be with her mother and leave the hamster with her father and stepmother. Now, there's two people responsible here. One, the preteen. She should know better. She should actually consider, hey, this is an animal that I am taking care of. I should probably take them with me, although a travel to Arizona is very long and extensive. However, this was not apparently their thinking process, and left the animal with dad. Now, when you are getting an animal for a child, it is the parent's responsibility to make sure that if that child does fall out, that it is their responsibility to take care of it in their household and to just see to it that this animal is just, you know, loved and adored. And why would you get an animal that your family doesn't like? All right, don't get an animal for your child because that child likes the animal. This parent just wanted the animal to go to a good home. That's not too bad, but at the same time, responsibility. We do not get animals to teach our children responsibility, but we must together work with our children to introduce to them the concept of caring for a living thing. It's very irresponsible to then abandon this animal or just go off to Arizona like this preteen, which I don't know how old this child is. You knew better. All right, you poor animal, I am now taken care of. I mean, it's great that I'm taking care of this animal that is obviously nice and very, very neurotic because they were probably kept up at all long hours. They did not have any chew toys inside their enclosure, and you put them in a rat enclosure. A vertical rat enclosure. No research was done. As you can see here, this is the pan because the whole rat enclosure was falling apart. This stinks to high heavens. This is worse than any of the ones I have rescued recently because there is caked on urine at the sides here. This hamster only had, like, this is what this looks like. She was monkey barring. It's so high up, this hamster could have fallen, could have hit their head. A lot of people don't understand these burrow animals that need horizontal floor space cannot live in monkey bar areas where it could hurt them. Yes, they can climb, but they're not good climbers. They cannot hold on, and so they will fall. This is a Syrian hamster we picked up that we renamed Junie. Junie was in a 6.5-inch wheel. They need 10 inches of a wheel or more because their back will curve. This is too small of a wheel. And of course, because it's marketed towards hamsters, just, you know, any hamster, even though there's 5 different species of domestic hamsters, of course, they think this is appropriate. Companies don't really tell you that. They just have the product. They're not there to really guide you. They're there to make a sale. So understand that companies, even though they are pet companies, are not going to be like going after what's best for the animal. They're going to go after what sells more. There is Carefresh bedding inside of here, but the whole point of bedding is so that it absorbs urine and could make them a nice burrow area. But there is at least one hide in here, but bedding regulates their temperatures. So if it's fluctuating in the house, the animal can have the bedding. Now the bedding was mainly kept under these grids here. I'm not pulling them out. That defeats the purpose for this animal. It's not like it's a bird where like the bird poops and then it catches on the bedding down below the cage. That's not how this should work. He was monkey barring, no chew toys, kept in a very open enclosure. Her coat isn't that great, and of course they didn't have a sand bath. Sand baths are really good when it comes to like rubbing off excessive oils, mainly for dwarf hamsters, but you can't give them Basarians. Basarians will typically use them as a potty bath after they're done kind of digging in them. So shocked and surprised, and I'll turn this around so you guys can kind of see. Right there, right here, so much caked on urine. It smells. This was not cleaned regularly, or they didn't do a good job cleaning. But the sides of it, as I'm like putting and running my finger on it, it's dusty. I don't know where this animal was kept. This was transported in 2 different cars. Actually, no, technically 3 different cars before landing in my care, and it's just disgusting. You don't keep animals in filth. You don't let these things pile on. Unsanitary living conditions. Your rodent enclosure should not smell like what I'm smelling here. You can imagine it, but it shouldn't smell. Spot clean weekly, deep clean monthly, especially for bigger areas, for bigger enclosures, because the bigger the enclosure, the less likely you're gonna have to do monthly deep cleans of just taking everything out. Spot clean, go for a corner, take out that bedding, put in new bedding. It will smell a lot better. The remaining bedding for a while, but once they are done walking on it, getting all their scent on it and it starts to smell, you must be changing it out. This is found on Amazon. You don't really see this in store, not even in mom and pop stores. So this person had to have seen on Amazon this type of enclosure and go, yeah, that must be great, right? It's big enough, right? And because of these companies advertise them for alligators, chipmunks, turtles, hippos. Of course, this is probably also listed as for other small rodents or for hamsters, rats, chinchillas, you name it, and it's just not the appropriate size. So they did absolutely no research, just got a bunch of what claimed to be pet products and just threw them all together. And this hamster is indeed over a year old. This is 1.5 years is my estimate, just because there is a lot of hair loss around the front. It's thinning out, and the hamster herself is looking thin in the face. That's usually a detection of an older hamster. Not by any means thin. Just the face. Oh yes, that's right. I checked her teeth. She does have slight misaligned teeth just because she was bar biting constantly. So I feel really bad. She couldn't get her teeth to be filed down naturally, so she had to be biting on the bars. That's all I want to say about Junie. It was just a very quick story and just a talk about please be responsible. Please, if you are an adult out there and you want to get your child an animal, you should be on board with that. You should understand it is your responsibility to make sure it has food and water. And that was another thing in here. This hamster had no food. Oh my gosh, that's right. That's right. I was looking all around and I'm like, where's the food? Where's the food? There is the food bowl underneath the grates. Why is the food bowl under there? It's just, I have questions and I'm being left without answers. Leave a like to show your support and comment down below with anything you like to say. If you have recently come across animals on Craigslist, Opera, Facebook Market, the Canada version of Craigslist, things like that, let me know what you've seen recently, and hopefully it's better care out there than what we've been seeing lately, but I'm sure there's still going to be plenty of not so great enclosures. And if you're new here and would like to become a part of the Munchkin family, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next future video. Thank you so much. Bye!